Good afternoon and welcome wherever you are. Welcome back to our Conversations with Dr. Zor. I'm host Bettina Brandt. I offer support to live life more fully with greater purpose, meaning, joy, and fulfillment. The easiest place to find me is bettinabrandt.site. And joining me again today is Dr. Zor from Sebastopol, California, founder of the Zor Institute and Project Insights, where he's also director. Dr. Zor is a licensed psychotherapist, ethics consultant, expert witness, teacher, writer, speaker, adventurer, and of course, critical thinker. Welcome back, Dr. Zor.
Thank you, Bettina.
So, today we are going to talk about metaphor of illness, meanings of dis-ease, and are memories always true, true or false?
Yeah, let's start with the first one. What's a metaphor of illness? What is the meaning of this ease? And what's important in this section for us, as you and I have discussed quite a bit, and you use in your coaching kind of practice as well, is that to look at what are the messages, and we get high fever, we get hysterectomy, whatever it is. What is it that what's the meaning of that for our lives beyond just getting over? For example, when I was wounded in the 73 war, I was a lieutenant in a paratrooper, and I lost my cuff. There was in the middle of battle. I collapsed in silence, and I told myself, "You shouldn't have gone to war." That means I did because I didn't believe in the war. So the metaphor for me was I shouldn't have gone to war. As a psychologist, I work with a physician, surgeon, and he was a top surgeon in California. And after 30 years of doing surgery, he got into a bicycle accident, and both hands were in huge trouble. He could not practice surgery again. So I worked with him. What is the message that you get about not being able to conduct surgery? His father was a surgeon. He told me his father always wanted him to be a surgeon. He was a good boy. He went to medical school. He became a top surgeon. And then after a few sessions, he said, Ofer, I never wanted to be a surgeon. I wanted to be a poet, and I wanted to be also a psychologist, like what you do, which is interesting. There's two things: you don't need your hands, because as a poet you can just declare, you can just what do you call it, dictate or your poetry. As a psychologist, you are in conversation. And when he realized that the meaning of his bicycle accident is that he's coming back home, and he started looking at the illness as a gift. Does it make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah. When we listen to the messages our body sends us, they're interesting parallels. I find, particularly with heart conditions, often I hadn't, something happened about 2 years ago where I never went to get medical treatment or help. But what I thought was something like an anxiety attack, which I'd never really had before. I'm fairly certain it was a heart attack, but um, it was brought on by this anxious reaction I was having to someone coming into my proximity, and the proximity of my children at the time just carried a lot of challenges there emotionally with this certain individual. And
It's beautiful that you said, because when I work on metaphor of illness, a lot of what we think is a heart attack is anxiety attack. And then we ask ourselves, what is this anxiety about? What you
and
did.
what part of the body are you feeling it in? And we have that connection between, science has proven, between the gut, the heart, and the brain. So we have multi-intelligence in our bodies. Um, so
Beautiful.
that was
And so
really fascinating.
we want the listener to ask himself, if I have a headache, what may be the headache beyond taking aspirin? I have a high
Mm-hmm.
blood pressure. What
Mm-hmm.
pressure do I feel? I have a heart attack. What my heart is breaking about, like what you were saying, and I know
Mm-hmm.
you do it in your coaching practice. Kind of, you're asking people the hard question, not just to fix it, but what does it
Mm-hmm.
mean? What is a
Mm-hmm.
dis-ease? What is a not ease that you feel right now, and you have a symptoms of a heart attack, of hernia, whatever it is?
And to put words to the emotions behind that, so that we can acknowledge what it is about our emotions that aren't moving, that are creating the dis-ease. We don't have the ease of allowing the emotions to flow if we're not aware of what they are, where they're coming from, how they affect us. Um, yeah.
Great. Okay, let's go to the next one. What is our next one
Our
today?
next one is uh, are memories always true, true, or false?
Yeah, that's a
That's a
tricky one. And I'll bring, you and I talked about it quite a bit, and you had practice with that, and you have experiences with that. So to bring it out, is memory a true or false? Uh, I'll discuss kind of the original, I think it was 1960s or 70s. Elizabeth Loftus had an experiment with people. It called Lost in the Mall. So when she made this experiment, she talked to doctors, teachers, common people, I mean, all kind of psychologists. She just talked to people, and she told them that when I talked to your mother or your father or your brother, they told me when you were 4 year old, you got lost in the mall, and then she let it be. And a few weeks later, she interviewed the same few hundred people again, and almost half of them could report that when they were 4 or 5 or 6, they were lost in the mall. And some of them said, I remember like yesterday, I called mama, mama, because I was so scared to be lost in the mall. So she induced a memory that was not relied on anything that she knew about these people. And random people do not have lost in the mall kind of memories. But here we are, a month later, huge percentage of them remembering like yesterday that they were lost in the mall. So she brought up again, Loftus, Loftus, brought to the picture a new way to look at our memories, and definitely did a lot of changes for me. And I know you and I talked about it quite a bit, and your clients and my clients also kind of. How do we know what we know? How do we know it was implanted because somebody just dropped a note for us and we just took it in, and a month later it become part of our history? Or her story,
Mm.
his story, whatever it is. So it's very interesting to start looking at memories and to wonder, are they induced, are they true, or are they false? And it can apply to millions of type of memories.
Mm-hmm. And it seems like our own emotions can trigger other memories to come up, and we create connections with our own minds, even in the subconscious, I imagine. You could speak more to that, I think, than I could, but it's really fascinating. And if you look at how the influence of everything that comes out, of the media, what you're
Absolutely.
seeing, I mean, we could come up with a lot of
I,
that's a whole nother can of worms, right? But
I know you have the
yeah.
media as in television and the media as in social networking, and oh my God, we it's like the field is open for false memory to erupt when you hear two other people talking about trauma or talking about fantastic events, whatever it is, and we want to belong, and suddenly we assume that it was also part of our story, his story, her story.
And our minds are just so suggestible.
Yeah.
There's so much, between time and decay and repressed and suppressed memories, the emotional triggering that we have from true or false memories.
And what she did was really good in a way. She took teachers, policemen, and other people, did all kind of other supposedly competent, reliable, reasonable people, and how easily so many of them go to believe that they got lost in the mall. And there's many other experiments as well. It created a huge wave within the field of psychology, and psychoanalysis at the time was big and kind of had to be rethought about. So it's kind of what we're doing today. It's kind of inviting the listener to wonder, when I have this clear memory of blah, 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 where did I hear it from first? Oh, I had it forever. Okay. Ask yourself the question. It's a true wonder. What does it serve me? What it doesn't serve me. So true, false, kind of, it's an opening of the mind, as you said, beautifully said.
Similarly to the way we interpret dreams, because a lot of times we dream about things that we think we remember. Sometimes the things we think we remember related to our dreams are, which one was a dream, which one was the reality. I mean, I've had some incredibly vivid dreams. And sometimes I know in the past I used to have reoccurring dreams, not so much more recently, but and I was certain.
You're a dreamer. I'm not, but you definitely are a dreamer in many ways.
It's true.
Yeah.
But it's fascinating, that play between reality and imagination. So, how about you? Any other experiences that you've had that you found to be false, or that you had a difficult time interpreting?
With my client over the years, the question, where did you hear it first? Oh, it was for sure, my sister and I have talked about it, and how to introduce it. You do it in your practice more than I do, kind of how to introduce it to people, to question. You don't know to think, oh, you're a liar. You don't want to tell them you're making things up. It's human. And that's what you bring. I'm a little bit more judgmental than you are. So you can bring it in a kind way out of people, to look at them gently and to say, where did I hear it first? What it may serve me? In this kind of a question. Oh my goodness. We are done with our third recording. We're going to have more recording, but it's fantastic to do it with you, Bettina. You're precious.
You. I feel the same way. Thank you so much for sharing your time and all of your experience and stories. I mean, your website, from the first moment I laid my eyes on it, was just phenomenal. So much you share. It's a beautiful thing to be able to be so transparent and share your experience with so many people and helping them. So we can find Dr. Zor at www.drzur.com. You can find me, Bettina Brandt, at bettinabrandt.site. And please feel free to.
You can go on YouTube and find our fun recording, insightful fun recording.
This is where we are. This is where we are. That's where the recording is primarily going to be shared. Yes, exactly, on YouTube. And it's you could search in YouTube Bettina Brandt, and our videos will come up under there. And we'll share links as well underneath the video. So thank you again, Dr. Zor, for being here today.
You have a good day. Enjoy Southern California. Bye-bye.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.